Hey guys, you know when somebody says to you, it's time to be about it, don't talk about it? Don't talk about it, but you need to be about it, right? Okay, this is piggybacking a little bit off of what I was talking about yesterday. When, people think that because you're an attractive woman and whatnot, and you might attract a lot of attention and whatnot, that you have options, right? Okay, and that is true. You'll have a lot of men who will show you some sort of attention, right? But just because a man shows you attention or calls you sometimes or texts you sometimes, or whatever, or even with his words, even with his own mouth or with his words, or has even sent you I love yous and I care about you or thinking about you, whatever, and says things, right? That doesn't actually mean or equate to an actual, real, viable option as far as a real potential mate or partner, right? Like long-term partner or just whatever. Like, that doesn't mean that that person is an actual real option for somebody, right? Just because out of his mouth he might say one thing, or he might be thinking something, or expresses something, it doesn't mean that he's actually going to do anything about it, right? Which is why people will say, you know what, say it with your actions, don't say it with your words. Or it's time to be about it, don't talk about it, right? Like, at some point, with all these people who may be interested in you, or they want to try to keep a door open with you so that they can maybe get with you at a later time, or whenever they're in town, or weird stuff like that, like all that kind of stuff. Again, you have to ask yourself, if you are someone like me and you're in that situation where you have a lot of attention maybe swirling around, or maybe even, people in your DMs or whatever, like you got people who text you or whatever, or maybe you are, on OnlyFans because that's how you want to make your money. Okay. And, you got a lot of people who are trying to talk to you, whatever. Right. And does that mean that those are all, or any of them are actually valuable options for you, for your life as an actual real potential partner? No. Right? No. Like, just because somebody says something, he says I love you, or he might say you're the love of my life, or when I was with you, or when I was near you, or whatever, I felt like a king and you made my life better, and blah 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 blah, I never wanted for anything, or he or she, really doesn't matter. No matter what he says out of his mouth, okay, it doesn't matter if his actions are not backing up and proving what he says. If he wants to send you good morning text, good morning beautiful, or good night beautiful, or what are you wearing, or I miss you, I wish I was with you, I wish I was laying next to you, blah blah blah, all of that is like, okay, that is teenage words as far as I'm concerned, that actually mean nothing if it is not going to be backed up by actions, right? So what I mean by that is, a lot of times at this age that I am, and what I'm finding and what I'm seeing, is that people do have situations that either they have started with somebody else, or, they have situations that are not quite finished, or they have, kids by 1, 2, or 3, several baby mamas or whatever, and, they're working on exiting that situation, or at least this is what they might be saying. Okay, it may be true or it may not be true. It doesn't really matter, because the fact is, at this age, you have started something somewhere with somebody else. I did too. It's just that mine is dead. My baby daddy is dead. He's not here. So he actually happens to not be an interference in my life. If he was alive, he would be a huge interference, because I wouldn't be single, right? But the fact is that at this age, you probably have started a family. You may even have grandchildren now, depending on how old you are, with an ex or a significant other or whatever, okay, who are still, there's still ties and links and things in between, right? And, that is to be expected at this age. I mean, like over 30, right? I mean, definitely, it happens younger, but definitely by over 30 to 40, you've probably already started a family with somebody else, okay? And I can understand that. But there are a lot of men who, for whatever reason, and I say for whatever reason because who knows what the real truth is? I only know what is presented to me or what is said to me. But for whatever reason, they have chose or decided to they don't want to marry the person that they've had children with. They don't want to be with them. They don't want to be with them long term. They don't love them like that. They don't like them. They've been through it with them. They've had issues with them. And they consider themselves still single. That's how they consider themselves. Okay, they're presenting themselves as single or not attached. Like they have responsibilities, but they're not actually attached. Okay, and that's how they will present themselves, right? And then as you dig a little bit deeper or you look further and do a little bit more investigation, you find out that that person is, baby mama is living with that person or is, partly living with them and moving out. Or, it's like, they got issues. They got stuff because they don't want to pay child support or they're trying not to, they don't want to be thrown under the bus for this, that, and the other. Or they got, a car together in somebody else's name and they got, all this type of credit stuff mixed up or whatever. And so they're trying to appease this other person to not get them angry and, or this other person needs a green card and that's why they're dealing with her and that's the baby mama. And it's like, and it's layers upon layers of issues and stuff. It's just stuff, right? It's like stuff that they haven't actually separated and exited from. Like they haven't actually made a complete, clear exit from that situation. They might consider themselves single because they have no desire to really pursue a relationship with that person or for that person to be their love of their life. Or at least that's what they might be saying. It's like, oh, at one time maybe, but now I'm not. And, that's not baby mama. I just gotta whatever. These are, listen, I'm going to keep it real with you. I have seen men who talk like this in their 30s up into their 50s. So this is not even an age bracket thing, but certainly immaturity has something to do with this, meaning lack of boundary setting and lack of clear boundaries and being a bit of a player or just a straight out player. Okay. Or wanting to have your cake and eat it too, meaning you want somebody, who's gonna, maybe stay at home, do your laundry or whatever, and buy the BS that you're giving her and keep your kids happy or whatever. It's cheaper to keep her, whatever. You don't want to pay child support and all this stuff over here, but you want your cake over there and you really want somebody over here because this is maybe somebody who you really would like to be with or whatever the case is, right? Like, I mean, who knows what the real reality of the situation is, right? Because man, everybody knows people will say things, whatever they want to say, okay, just to get whatever, right? I knew a guy that, I remember when I dated him, his ex, at the time who was toxic and he was separated from and in a whole nother state, when she found out about me, all of a sudden wanted to be back with him and literally said out of her own mouth, she will not win. I will win. I will make sure I win at all costs. This is what he told me. And I was like, over here, like, I'm an innocent bystander over here. Like, wait, when, it's like, okay, you were exiting the situation. Y'all were not together, blah, 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 whatever. And now this person who is like, now interfering because she thinks you're moving on with somebody else is saying, I'm going to win at all costs. Win what? How do you win at love? Like, how do you win and win at all costs? Like, how do you do that? Like, how are you viewing love? Like, love doesn't work like that. Love doesn't, like, that's not how it works. You cannot force your way into anybody's heart. You cannot force your way into actually being influential over this person as far as, having real deep respect and love for somebody. That is something that is grown and nurtured through respectful behavior and through time and trust and nurturing a relationship in the proper way. Showing up for each other, right? through actions, not through just words. You might, be able to bully your way and control your way into somebody's life based on the fact that you have spit out a couple kids for that person, and you might think you have won something, but how is that actually winning anything if all you're doing is forcing a situation that two people don't actually want to be in? Okay? That's not, nobody's a winner. In fact, everybody lost, including the children who are having to hear this type of toxic, screaming, nasty, negative kind of stuff, right? And I have seen this type of thing, this type of interaction between couples, or not even, whatever they are. I don't know how they want to classify themselves, because I can say for certain that the man sees himself as single. Okay, so I don't know what you classify yourselves as, but green card marriage, or fake love, a forced love, family forced love, a buy, somebody that you just, you bought their love. I don't know, whatever you want to call that, right? All this type of stuff that I see is boils down to deception and lies and mistreatment and confusion, and nothing that God can bless. That's what I know. That's what I see. This is the reason why why I don't consider any of those type of situations a viable option for me, because that's not something I don't entertain that. I don't entertain that. You could be a friend, or for me, a person who buy something from me, right? Like a client, like, you're going to purchase something from me. Or a friend, somebody that you speak to once in a blue moon, okay? But I cannot ever make anybody like that has situations like that are still going on, or that are interfering in that person's life, where he has not created actual boundaries, or he's not actually single, like really single, or he cannot, control those around him, meaning creating boundaries with his life and the people around him, from his mother to his sister to his baby mama, his children, and the toxic cesspool that he's dealing with, where everybody wants to put their 2 cents in, and they think that they own that person, or they think they have the right to interfere with that person, said person who might or might not actually be single, right? And I have literally been in front of men, who are single or whatever, who have no intentions to marry this person or don't want to be with this person. The baby mama calls, and literally they're so disrespectful. But I mean, it's like, you can there's no respect. He's literally like this, the phone, like the person is yapping, and he's over here like in front of me, and I'm like, what is that? Like, what is that? Am I supposed to be okay with this scenario right now? Like, am I supposed to be okay with this? Don't you need to talk to her? Or is what she's saying is just not, like get off the phone then? Or what is this? Like, what is this? What's happening right now? To me, that whole thing, all of that, I've seen this so many times, right? All of that is beyond anything that I want to deal with. I've never dealt with this before. I never had to deal with this before. But it's like, and I can count at least five that I know that are in this, a similar type of situation. This type of situation where they got something like this going on. They got baby mama drama. They got baby mamas that they're trying to appease, more than one, or whatever. And yet they want to try to entertain or try to make themselves an option for me. You're not an option for me. You're not an option for me. I please hope and know that just because I respect you as a person, or as a man, or somebody that I know, as a friend, or I might even have had love for you, or have love for you, or can see, benefit in, you as a person and everything, right? But please know that I don't view men in those types of situations as a real option for me. And I'm not holding space for somebody like that in my life. I don't hold space for somebody like that who cannot properly hold space for me in their life. Meaning, I am the priority, right? Regardless if I spit out a baby. Okay? Spitting out, again, like being a baby mama, if you're going to be with that a person holds the proper place in your life, not just based on a title or like a baby mama or somebody who put their egg with your sperm. It's based on the respect value that you place upon that person, the way that you actually feel about them, the way that they treat you, right? The way that you treat each other, the desired love, and what you want from that person, like what they have that you want, right? That is valuable to you, outside of children or outside of, whatever supposed title. Okay, if you actually respect somebody and love them, you will hold space for them based on that, how they treat you, who they are, how they show up, and how valuable that person actually is in your life, right? Because you could even be married to somebody and you have zero respect for them. You don't want to be with that person. You don't like them, and you're trying to get a divorce from them. You could be living with your baby mama and you literally are trying to get her out, want her out, don't want her near you. You think she's toxic. You don't have any future plans with her, and you don't respect her. Okay? And so any title or fake love, fake marriage, whatever, is not actually what's going to get the respect, right? And so you holding space for somebody like that, or allowing them to encroach on you and your time, your energy, your decision making, you allowing somebody like that who you really don't love and honor and cherish to actually interfere with who you actually want to be with, or what you actually want to do with your life, or where you actually want to live, is you not having proper boundaries in your life. Now, again, I'm speaking from someone who I'm not making any decisions based on addictions, right? So here, I am not an alcoholic. First of all, do you know how rare it is, it seems these days, to actually be able to say with complete honesty to whoever, to Jobs and everybody, that I have zero addictions. Zero. I am not addicted to smoking, drinking, alcohol, pills, pill popping, shopping addiction. I'm not addicted to anything. I don't need to break during my work hours or whatever to go smoke or vape or smoke weed or pop pills, or whatever. Okay, that's rare. But when you have addictions or whatever, a lot of times you are a little distorted in your decision making, or you could be a little distorted in your thinking process, or why you're even doing something, especially if you have shared addictions, right? And the two of you both share a particular addiction. Like, I heard one guy that I know who was like, he literally flat out said to me that his baby mama does nothing for him except for knows how to roll up for him. She likes to roll up. She knows how to do that. That herb. She knows how to do that the way he, like, that's what she knows how to do. Like, as far as he was concerned, she didn't, know how to cook for him. She didn't know how to nurture him, take care of him, whatever. And he was not happy with her. I mean, I'm just using his exact wording. This is the exact words. And I remember he married her on his lunch break in his uniform. And he was so not thrilled, because he told me about it. He was like, yeah, I gotta go. She wants this piece of paper. I'm like, what? Yeah. Okay. Now, do I actually believe that that's true? No, because I think that she probably does a lot more, like, with his children. But, you know, I'm very aware that men like to paint a picture of pity me, you know, look how bad my life is, or look how bad this woman is. What, you know, it's like, can I get love from you too? No, you can't. No, not me, not this chick. Maybe somebody else who's willing to deal with your breadcrumbs, or deal with your leftovers, or deal with, you know, only you on the weekends, you know, or, you know, it depends. I don't know. Find another woman who has those type of standards, but it's not me. I don't have those standards, and I don't operate like that. I only want to deal with somebody who literally has their life in order, meaning whoever they've had children with or whatever is that is over. It is over. It's done. They don't have feelings for that person. They don't want to be with that person, and they can say that in front of anybody. They're not hiding a secret love for me. I am not a secret lover. I am not a side chick, or, you know, I am, you know, not somebody that they have to pretend that they don't love, or dreaming about at night, you know, or whatever. Like, they're not having to hide their phone, flipping their phone upside down or whatever, or hiding emails or text messages. You know, I'm not doing that. I'm not jumping through hoops for nobody. I never have done that. I never will do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not. And I can remember saying I would never lie for you. Like, this person over here, I don't know what you're dealing with or whatever, but you better hope she don't call me, because I'm not about to lie. I don't lie. Okay, I'm not going to do that. You may not like what I have to say. You may not believe me, or you may not want to hear it, or whatever. You may not be happy, but let me tell you something. I'm not about to sit here and jump through anybody's hoops for them, because I don't operate like that. I'm not going to do that. Like, this is why I've talked about this before in other videos when I talked about all these guys with third parties. I'm not holding space for you. I am not holding space for you. I never have been. So please, I hope you're not mistaking any conversation that we've had, or the fact that I am openly, willingly accept love, give love, and receive love. And I have no problem even expressing love, right? That means that I'm going to hold space for you, or hold a spot for you in my life, and actually not look at real options, real men who really are ready to go. Like, if you really think that that's what I'm doing, or if you ever think that, or if you have thought that, you're wrong. You got me all wrong. I don't know. I hope you have not thought that, because I don't wait. I've never have waited. I never plan on waiting. I'm just single right now by choice, because I'm still evaluating my options. So it's just like a job, right? This is why I did this last night, and I did this on chat. It made me think about when you're going for a job, right? And they're looking at all the candidates. If you've got 5 potential job candidates, people who want to, you know, work for your company, and they all have resumes, and they all have decent resumes, and you talk to the person, and you talk to these people, and you got some who are like falling asleep during the interview, or hold on, can we hold off? Can I break during this interview? Can I go outside and puff a cigarette, or can I go, you know, smoke some weed, or can I vape, or can I whatever before I answer your questions? Or, you know, hold on, I gotta go XYZ before I blah blah blah. Or, you know, like, they are off over here in La La Land, they have to answer their phone to baby mama 15 times because she's like, I want milk, I need this, I need that, I need you to go do this, or you said that, you know, and causing you drama while you're in this interview, and you're like not really paying attention to the person who's interviewing. And then you get the one person who's literally like, hey, yeah, I have no addictions whatsoever. I got my life in order, and I'm ready to give your company 100% of my time. I'm willing to work whatever hours are necessary, and I'm here for it. And I'm excited about it. I am ready to go. Who would you pick? Okay, who would you pick? Would you pick someone who clearly is interrupting and can't even hold space for the interviewer for more than 5 minutes before they're getting interrupted by baby mama and mamas and kids and people who clearly are not respecting any type of boundaries, if you have put any boundaries up? Or would you want the person who is literally showing the most enthusiasm, the one who is enthusiastic, the one who is actually showing an interest, who is saying, yeah, I'm ready to go, I want the job, who is putting themselves right there in front of you and literally making you, or making the interviewer or the company, their only attention at that moment, That's it. Nothing else is taking their attention. Who would you hire? Who would you hire? Obviously, it's going to be the person who is literally showing the most attention, the most enthusiasm, the most, interest, right? That's obvious. Or is it, do you really think the person who is over here like, or, I don't, oh, I really want this job. Oh yeah, I'm over here in an interview right now. Oh, you want a job? Oh, are you asking to hire me too? Oh, okay. I don't really want this job that I'm in front of right now. Or I don't really, or yeah, I'm interested in your job too. I'm interested in what you have to offer me too. Would you answer another job? Another potential career? Would you do that in front of the person who's doing the interview for you? Would you? No. You won't get hired, right? They're not going to be like, oh, okay, we're going to hold space for you. What would it do? Next. Swipe left, swipe right, keep going, move on, whatever. They're not going to be interested in you. They're going to be like, no, you can't even give me 5 minutes of your time before you're over here looking for another job, or you need to stop and break and go smoke and puff and do whatever else, right? I mean, come on. Not if you have somebody who is real with who has real intentions, true intentions, who can literally pay attention to the person in front of them and who's ready to do the job adequately. Like, AKA, for me, a man who is actually really single, who actually has created boundaries in his life, who actually is ready to have one person or is looking for a true queen, a real queen, who's looking for growth, who wants, to show their enthusiasm for you and not pretend that they're not interested in you or worry about looking thirsty or desperate or how they look to other people or hide their feelings in front of their family, their mother, or yada, 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 yada. Their kids, because their kids might go home and tell baby mama. This is common sense to me. This is common sense. But you know what? Let me say it like this, all right? As y'all know, my family, my mother was an interpreter. My sister is an interpreter. I come from a family. We know a little bit of sign language, right? I've done some for you guys. That's Jehovah, JH. Okay, that's Jehovah. This is God. I've shared that on my page before. I did Hallelujah, right? So y'all saw that, okay? That's called sign language, okay? My mother taught me, she said this to me one time, years and years and years ago. She said this to me. She said, when you're dealing with men or you're dealing with somebody, right? You're dealing with people and you're not sure what to believe, what to think, or what to feel. One way to get a good read on what's actually happening here is shut the person's mouth up, whatever they're saying. Baby, I love you. You're the bomb. You're the best. Oh, I want to be with you. You make me feel like a king. You make me feel like I want to be with you. I want to give you the sun, moon, and stars. And I want to spoil you. And I'm going to do this for you. And I'm coming and I'm divorced or I'm about to get divorced or I I'm not really married or we're not really nothing. All of that stuff, shut it up. Go ahead and mute their mouth. Mute it. Mute the person's mouth and what they're saying to you. Now, based on the actions that the person is taking, what do their actions look like to prove what they're saying? You'll be able to tell everything you need to know about that person based on the actions. Okay, if you don't listen to anything he says or even written, what do you have? What do you have for the actions? I got a good morning text or a good night text or what? An emoji? A poke? Hi? A wave? Oh, I don't have an OnlyFans, so, I don't have a subscription or whatever. Like, no, I'm going to look at this person's action. And if the actions are like, yeah, I'm actually in your life and I'm showing that by taking an interest in you, helping you with, let's say your car, like me as a woman, right? Actually guiding you, like giving, like showing you things to do with your car or whatever, right? Taking you here, there, or whatever, or, taking you, like actually doing the courting thing, like actually going on a date. Okay, or actually, when I say sending money, I mean, if this is somebody you're actually with, right? Like you're actually with for a while, whatever, and they know that you're in a situation or you need something or whatever, and they're showing like, okay, you this or that or whatever. Here, you need this, you that. I'm gonna send you this. Go ahead and get that. Or I remember I had one guy who he knew I had a bad day, and he was out of town at the moment, but he knew that I was having a rough day, and I think might have been one of Travis's anniversary to his death. Maybe it might have been that, something like that. Anyway, he had pizza sent to the house. He was like, no, I know you don't want to cook. I get it. You know what? And boom, he sent pizza to the house. He was like, I want you to be able to, focus on yourself or whatever, right? Like, there's things that you can do, right, that show in action, rubbing your feet, rubbing your back. It's kind of like, I don't care if the person has everything. Let's just say the person that you're dealing with has everything. She's rich or he's rich or whatever. What do you think that they're missing in their life? Love, time, and attention, right? Affection, love, time, affection, time, right? Actually doing things with that person, actually going places with that person, actually going on dates, like actually doing things, whether it is cooking for them or, like just depending on what you do, what the roles are, like what you need, what your needs are. Are you sick? Do you need me to go run to the store? When I'm sick and or my stomach is a little weird or whatever, like, yeah, if I need ginger ale, can you go get me some ginger ale? One of my exes went and got me my Chick-fil-A. He knows I love Chick-fil-A. He knows that I wanted the lemonade or whatever, and he came and brought that for me. Or whatever it is, if I'm working on my gift baskets and you want to go and, I'm out of hot glue and you have to go to the store and get me some hot glue, bring it to me, or help me, support me with my gift baskets, helping me load them and sell them and everything, like stuff like that, like actually being a part of a person's life. It's like mute the person's words, mute the dumb text messages or the dumb pokes or the dumb little DMs or the dumb waves or whatever, mute all of that, mute whatever's coming out of their mouth and look at the person's actions. What are his actions speaking? What are the actions? And do the actions support whatever the person is saying? And that's what's going to tell me whether or not I should actually hold space for you in my life for anything. At all. To me, this is very elementary. To me, this is not even difficult. I don't know why I would have to break this down, but I'm just being very clear here. No matter who you are. If you're somebody's baby mama who's watching me, or somebody's whatever y'all are, whatever, and you think that I'm holding space for your person, I'm not. No. You got me mistaken for somebody else. I don't want that. Just letting you know now. I don't want it. I'm not dealing with it. I don't have the time or the desire for anybody's leftovers or for anybody to be anybody's side piece, side chick, or anything. And if you are a man or anybody that I know who we have had any type of interactions, whether it be we dated at one point or we somewhat saw each other or whatever the case is, or you have love for me or I have love for you or whatever, okay, that's cool. That's just what it is, but that doesn't mean that I'm in love or that there's an active type of participation in this love or that I am waiting on you to get your stuff together, because I'm not. I never have. I have actual real men right now who are actually single, really single. They're dating, seeing others, as well as I am seeing others and dating and going out. And it's in that interview process that, is going on. And eventually at some point, when two people agree upon the feelings and they're mutual, and the intentions are mutual, and the feelings are intense enough or whatever to start shutting down all the other options or whatever, that will happen. And no, I will not be blasting that online, just like I never have in the past. No, I will not be updating anybody that I've decided to do that. It's just at some point, the next time you decide to roll around with a text because you think you're keeping your foot in the door somewhere, I will say to you at some point, I'm with somebody else. And no, we can't meet up. Or no, we can't see each other. Or no, we can't talk. No, I'm not sending you a picture. No, you can't see what I'm wearing. No, I don't. That is like immature behavior, to say the least. Okay, now I know that I'm an 80s baby and I'm, older and everything, but I've also been married and with one person for 17 years. And then I was married again. Like, I don't operate like that. The reason why men say I'm wifey is because I am wifey. And if I'm wifey, that's what I am. I don't know how to operate. And I don't run OnlyFans pages or fake OnlyFans pages or, escort. And I'm not an escort. I don't operate in multiples and all that. I don't run like that. I never have and never will. I'm not built for that. I'm just not. If I'm with somebody and I want to be with that person, he wants to be with me, and I can see that. And if I see that there's shysty behavior with that person, or he seems to have his attention going somewhere else, or he cannot give all his attention to me, or if that is what I see is happening with that other person, then I just won't be with him. I just shut it down. Because I can't be with somebody who doesn't want to be. I mean, I'm not talking about during the interview process time, or during this dating time. I'm not talking about during this time. It's after two people decide to actually be exclusive. Like when you're together and when you decide to actually be together. This is what, my intentions, your intentions, whatever. Or even once I'm even married or whatever, when there's a commitment, a real commitment is made. Okay. If it's not working out, or the person is just, not being truthful or whatever, then I leave. I'm not going to stay. Because I'm not going to entertain somebody who literally wants to have several women in his life. And again, I've talked about this so many times. The men who claim or think they want to have poly or whatever, they want an open relationship and stuff. And what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing is that really you're just wanting to, get a little bit from this one, a little bit from that one. You like the way this one dresses. You like the way this one looks. You like this one is your baby mama, or this one over here has money. This one over here can cook really good. And you want a little bit from everybody, and you're spreading your own self so thin. And in the meanwhile, you're also very inconsistent in each one of these people's lives and each one of these women's lives. And they can see that you're really just a player. Or at least you're acting that way. You're exhibiting that type of behavior. So nobody's really giving you king respect. Nobody is treating you like a king or actually giving you the respect of a real king, right? Because they can see that they don't have all of you anyway. Like, you are spreading yourself thin. It's very clear that you have attention somewhere else. Just like it would be clear if somebody was doing an interview and you're tapping your leg and start scratching, or you start having stuff dripping out of your nose, or you are over here like ready to go sniff. I mean, come on. The signs are obvious, right? I mean, that's just what it is, right? So it's the same thing with all of these women who you might think you have your foot in the door, who you think might be holding space for you. Maybe they are. I don't know. But if they're like me, they're not. If they're like me, they're not. And if they're my caliber of woman, they're not holding space for that. They know who you are. They know what you're about. They know that you're a player. They know. And she's actually not considering you as even a viable option. You're only a viable option if you're actually single and actually created boundaries. And I say single, I mean, like, you can call the courthouse and be like, yo, is this person married or not? Were they divorced? What was the date? Where's the divorce certificate? Not, I'm divorced because I want to be divorced or I plan to be divorced. No, not, I'm not married because the person that I'm not married to is in a whole nother state with her female friends and, friends or whatever. And in an open relationship, and we don't really consider ourselves married, but we're married on paper. No, that's not really single. And that's not anybody who space should be held for. It's not. Because that kind of a person, he's spreading his energy and his time and attention so thin between all these different people and children, potentially however many children you got, and, all this other stuff, and work, and this and that. And literally, what are you actually receiving from you're not actually happy. You think you're having your cake and eating it too, but are you really? Because you haven't taken time to actually work on yourself and actually put yourself in a situation and making yourself where you're actually praying to God and actually having him direct you to your true queen, your real queen. Letting God actually direct that woman towards you, or where you can find her, where you can actually think about what you want and then search for her and then give her your all. Give her your best. Offer her your best, whatever that is. And whatever that is, if it is a match and whatnot, and if God has put it into her heart and it's in your heart, then you will know. Because what you have to offer her will light her world up. And it has nothing to do with money. She will light up on the inside with happiness and joy to the point that it is spilling out. Okay, and it can be seen from everywhere she goes because she's lit up and glowing happy from the inside out. Because the person that she loves or cares about or whatever is, giving her the most attention, the most time, and pouring into her, and she's able to grow and bless you and your children or anybody that you have from a previous whatever, and bless the family and bless any future children or, whatever business or whatever you got going on. Because she feels poured into, right? Now, I understand that a lot of women, there are a lot of different views and viewpoint of women and views of relationships, like open relationships and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not talking about any of that today. And I understand that not everybody shares the same view and quality of life and relationship and morals and standards and things like that. I get it. So just understand, when you're not on the same page with somebody, that's just what it is. You're not on the same page. You don't have the same moral standards. So you're going to butt heads constantly. If somebody wants to have an open relationship and you don't, you're going to butt heads with that person. One is going to be offended all the time, and the other one, and there's a reason why. If the person, what I have noticed is, there hasn't been one man that I have been with, that I have actually been with, like actually had a relationship with, that has ever wanted to be open with me, has ever said, I'm willing to share you. So I don't know what to say about that. I don't know if you're just picking very low caliber women or women who have low moral standards, or you're picking one on OnlyFans who might have the butt that you want or the boobs that you want, but not the brains to match, or not the goals, or not the aspirations, or is not a good mother, or is whatever. I don't know. I don't know what kind of women that you're actually picking, or where your pool of women are coming from. I don't know what to say, okay? But nobody I've been with wants to share me at all. He don't want to share me. He don't want me going nowhere else. And, I don't have a high body count by any means, and I don't have, but what I do know is that I don't give them, they tell me I don't give them no space to go nowhere, because I engulf their brain. I engulf them because there's an actual real attraction there. Because I'm not going to get with somebody, even if you want to say at my lowest point, where I was at my saddest point, the person who I was with was 100% into me. 110%. And he made it very clear. He was 110% into me. I might have still been fighting sadness over losing my late husband, and might have still had an outlook that was not from a completely healed place. But I was not spreading myself thin or going around and, trying to see others. Okay, that's not what that was about. I was just so sad, maybe. But, he did his best. I mean, it wasn't we were not 100% a match. We got on each other's nerves, and we still get on each other's nerves, and we still fight like cats and dogs, like brother and sister. It is what it is, right? But anyway, nonetheless, he still did his best. He still gave me his best, his time and attention. He did. Okay, and so, and he did. Definitely wouldn't share me. He wouldn't share me today, tomorrow. If I got back with him, he wouldn't share me. No. Okay, so, either you're picking women who are just not enough for you, who are not actually doing it for you, and you're thinking you're going to get one complete woman by having a multitude of women around, but that actually doesn't work. All you're going to do is go broke, and go mentally broke, emotionally broke, and you're going to drive them crazy, you're crazy. Eventually you're going to be overwhelmed, is really what that is, and you're not going to be able to keep up with all the lies, or whatever you got going on, okay? But what I do know is that someone like me is not gonna, I'm not holding space for anybody like that. You just are you just might be somebody that I've met along the way who I happen to either have been attracted to, maybe visually, or we might have at one point shared some good memories and some time and space together or whatever, but that's over, or whatever, for whatever, whatever reason, like, that's what that was, a day or two or whatever, right? Like, you're not, as far as I'm concerned, if you're doing those types of things or exhibiting any of those types of behaviors, you're not an actual real option. You might think you are, but not to somebody like me. Maybe to somebody else who has and who is doing what you're doing, who wants to only have you on Saturday or a Wednesday or whatever day that you're off, or whatever day that, whenever she's at work or whatever, and that, you have an hour or two, before you have to go pick up the kids from school or whatever, that you might think will be enough. So that's not enough for me. That would not be enough for me. It might be enough for somebody else. And you would have to, if that's the continued lifestyle that you want, then you need to find somebody else who has that type of, moral standard, and who has that same type of outlook on relationships and wants to do that dance with you. But I don't. Just know that I'm not holding space. I'm definitely not waiting around. And, whatever. I'm just, please know that, I can have love for people. I can have a lot. In fact, we're supposed to have love for everybody, right? And I can have good memories and good thoughts or whatever about, I can even have, I can feel like I know who I'm naturally attracted to. And I might be attracted to somebody on several different levels and for several different reasons. I might be attracted to somebody, and I can share that, and I can even express that I have love for this person, meaning agape love. Like, for example, let me give you an example. I might not be with you at all, or even look at you as a real, true, viable option because of your situation. But if I call you, or you call me, or whatever, and you express to me you're in the hospital and you are sick with a kidney stone or something, okay, or whatever the case, and I know that that sucks really bad, okay, because I've had them, and I know what to do for that, and I drop what I'm doing, or stop, or make time or make space to come and visit you at the hospital to show agape love. Agape love. Not romantic love. Not get married to you love. Not make love to you love. Like, not sexual love. Not that kind of love. Agape, brotherly affection love. Like agape, you're my brother, you're my sister, you are, a fellow human that I care enough about to come and service you some, like give you some food, offer some help and assistance in your time of need. That's me. That's about as much space as I may hold for you, like a friend who has love for you in that type of a way. And even if you are visually attracted, like even if I might be visually attracted to you, I know how to hold boundaries and not act upon those visual stimulants. Okay? It's just like men, it's just like you guys, right? Like you might see somebody walk down the street and, her butt is nice, her boobs are nice or whatever. I can say the same thing. I'd be like, oh, she got a banging body. First of all, I definitely can appreciate that because I'm a makeup artist and I work on women all the time. And I have to help them look good. And I've been doing this for years. I'm the old glamour shots girl, like years and years and years ago. Like I literally have to rub them down, get them oiled up, make them look shiny, make them look good or whatever. Like I know how to do that. And I know how to critique a woman. Like, okay, no, that's not going to come across good on screen, right? And I can be honest and blunt. And I can see a woman who looks, and I've told women this, when I see them, I'm like, you have a beautiful smile. You have a Colgate smile. You have the kind of smile that looks good on print. Like print on paper. Like you, whatever. I can say that. And I have I love to build women up in that way. I love to encourage women that way. It is not taking anything away from me, right? And I can agree with, and I used to do this with Travis. I can agree, like, yeah, she has a banging body. That's what it is. Everybody is blessed in different areas, right? But I know good and well, like, if my husband loves me and he's with me, then he's with me. Just because you look at somebody don't mean that you're going to actually act upon something that looks good. I mean, when you go to the bakery and you're in Publix, right? Publix has the best bakery, if you ask me. And you're looking at all their cakes. Do they not all look good? They all look good. But you got to pick one for your gathering or your party or your event or whatever, right? You got to pick one. You're like, okay, I can't have all these cakes in this display. They all look good. They all got banging bodies. But I need to pick one that I want to sink my teeth into and actually work, actually want to eat, like actually want to grow, like actually want to take home with me and actually, deal with. Okay, that's it, y'all. I can't talk about this no more. Bye.